Alright guys, Tactical here back again today. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday so far. Today, I wanted to talk about some retrospective stuff relating to what I saw on Twitter yesterday. Skyz and Havok had a bit of a Twitter conversation back and forth, of course, teammates now, so it's not really drama per se, but it is an interesting thing to look at when we look at that Gen.G team of last season and what could have been with that squad. Of course, certainly really the best team last season not to win a championship throughout the Black Ops 4 cycle, and Skyz and Havok, of course, having so much success now on this Florida Mutineers team, definitely worthy of discussion. What could have been for Gen.G last season and exactly why these decisions were made. And disappointed to see how poorly Gen.G really performed in the latter half of the season, especially at the World Championships. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember. And of course, Gen.G now completely out of Call of Duty entirely. If this had been different and they'd have had different results as a result, potentially, of this change being made and Skyz maybe coming into that squad last season, would Gen.G have stuck around into the franchise era? It's a question that could be asked. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's hop right into things here. First of all, Team War have made a Call of Duty team announcement, effectively bringing back their old squad back again, who won the Paris Championship. Of course, with the whole online thing going on, they weren't sure whether to keep this team because I think Team War wanted funding to go worldwide and this kind of stuff, which maybe Team War couldn't provide. Now playing from home, that's not such a big deal. So they're back on the squad. Slightly different team though. Moose is out of the team and Payne is in the team. So we've got Vortex, Dave, PT, Denza, and Payne is the team right now going forwards. And of course, that's pretty relevant given this weekend is going to be this Challenger Cup going on. But as Inflammable Fire points out to me here, I'm not exactly sure what they're doing with the stream because as you can see right here, when I looked at this up myself, the stream goes live pretty damn late in the day for me. And the way they title it, well, okay, you don't have it quite here, but they title it as the Amateur Finals. So it almost sounds like they're just going to stream the finals here rather than stream. Initially, they said, we're going to stream, well, both days, I thought. But then in the initial announcement, they said, okay, we're just going to stream the Sunday. The Sunday will have a dedicated stream. Are they just going to stream the finals on the official CDL channel? Who knows? Hopefully some of the amateur casters and stuff that are casting this will broadcast that perspective as well. So we should have some action today and tomorrow for the Challengers Cup. If not, it's just going to be the finals, unfortunately. But I will discuss it probably on Monday after we all know the conclusion to this. So let's go through this then. Skyz says, daily reminder, Gen.G could have picked me up, but Colt, that being Havok, said no. Havok replies with this, all good bro, you got last at champs. It's a pretty funny replies to this one, to be honest. Joey Nubsy, of course, who was the coach for Gen.G last season, replied to this and said, oh, I was kind of down to get you in, but Havok clearly wasn't. And this is pretty interesting when we look at the history, especially of these couple of players. But of course, nowadays, they're sitting pretty on the Florida Mutineers squad. Skyz up here with a dominant KD. Havok as well was really a dominant performer in this event, especially against the Chicago Huntsmen, that Azir Cave hardpoint. Havok was a critical aspect of them winning those rotations, especially Furrow being the MVP, but these guys right next to each other, putting up absolute performances. And you've got to say that Skyz has been unbelievable so far this season, especially on this squad. Not only putting up numbers, but also playing a really aggressive, fast-paced role and putting on a clinic, to be honest, for the most part. And a lot of other ARs have done this, but there's not too many ARs that put up the numbers that Skyz done that's actually won an event, right? Which is an interesting part. Octane's putting up similar numbers to Skyz, as is Wuskin, but they haven't won an event. The Mutineers have managed to get action out of their main AR, but also the rest of the squad to perform as well. And, a fair bit of this squad is the Gen.G team from that last season, that being Havok and Morks. Of course, Joey Nubsy's gone elsewhere, and the other players have kind of mingled and gone separately. But the fact that Skyz could have been on this squad is also pretty interesting. Let's get into that. So these were the Gen.G tournament results from last season. This is what it looked like. This is all the things they played. Effectively, this is Gen.G's entire career in Call of Duty because they didn't do anything before that. But, we had Fort Worth. So initially, this team went under, what's it called, Team Space at the Pro League qualifier. Then they got through that, then Gen.G picked them up. They came top 8 at Fort Worth, top 6 at London. But then latter half of the season, they really did start to turn it around because early in the season, they just did not lose a single search and destroy. I'm pretty sure Spacely went undefeated in S&D in the Pro League. Pretty remarkable. The first stretch of the Pro League, they were playing with Spacely. Envoy, of course, not in the team at that point because he was in the Midnight Esports squad at the time. So that team was looking really, really good early on. But they do make the change at the middle of the Pro League, swapping out Spacely for Envoy. and it doesn't go so well. They start to lose their search and destroys, and then as you can see, latter half of the season, they do stick with this squad, come second at Anaheim, and this is the point where they come second at Anaheim, and this is where supposedly they could have brought Skyz into the squad. So second place is Anaheim, here, of course, to the 100 Thieves squad at the time. That was their first championship they won. Pretty sure, oh no, not the first championship. They won London as well, but this was the first MVP that Slasher won. This is when they were really getting good and getting into their stride, the 100 Thieves squad, and they beat Gen.G in the grand finals here. Then they come third through fourth in the Pro League. Spacely, I think, came back into the team for a little bit here just to finish things off. Also didn't lose a search and destroy, but then they subbed him out again, brought Nagafen back in the squad, and they come second at the Pro League playoffs to United. So really were just the the Silver Surfers, to be honest. They kept coming second, and obviously the World Championship, it then completely fell apart for them. They lost to Fuego Gaming, I think, and some other teams in their group. They came last place in their group, did Gen.G, made it out in top 32, and went home and didn't have anything going else from there. So, interesting team, and of course, given that result, everything just went sour, and Gen.G leaves Call of Duty Esports, the CDL comes in, and these guys pretty much split up. Maniac onto the Atlanta FaZe team, Nagafen, Spacely, really nowhere to be found, Envoy to Huntsman, and then Havok and Morks onto this Florida Mutineers squad. The question is, where could Skyz fit in here, and could he have helped this team improve? Because interesting that Spacely was in the squad, but it's no secret that the latter half of the season, Nagafen really wasn't performing particularly great, and that could have been a change you would consider here, because the team changes that Skyz experienced were as follows. What's interesting here that I noticed, back in the World War II days, the last chance qualifier, Anaheim Open, Havok and Skyz teamed together on Gone Gaming, so intriguing to see that when the opportunity arose once again for Skyz to team with Havok, Havok was like, yo, last time we played, we came top 24 at the last chance qualifier, didn't qualify for champs. At least this time, Gen.G did qualify for champs, but they came top 32. So Skyz had a really interesting season here. We had UYU, I think maybe he was even dropped off this UYU team. Then he went on to Accelerate, and they had the whole organizational drama. Then it was Elevate, and then he got onto Luminosity, which was an interesting squad. Very much a, it was pretty much like an assault rifle heavy team, to be honest. They had Slacked and John, but Formal, Brack, and Skyz in the team was kind of interesting. And yes, Skyz was mainly running the main AR, but Formal would pull it out sometimes. Brack would usually be on a Maddox, and Skyz on the Maddox as well was pretty nasty at times. They did trial it with Formal on the ICR and all of this kind of back and forth stuff. And then, of course, on the Mutineers. So the question being, if Skyz had have come into that Gen.G squad, what role exactly would he have run? Who would he have replaced on the team? And could they have been a better squad? Because it's no secret, Skyz was a great player throughout Black Ops 4. He's maybe even better in this Modern Warfare title, and he's winning championships now. So all that to his credit. So this is what Skyz says here on the Reddit. Gen.G had Morks though, who was already a really good ICR, which is definitely true. Was Skyz a better ICR or Maddox last year? Makes total sense. They didn't pick him up if they weren't looking for an ICR / Maddox flex. I think the question is here on what Skyz is kind of implying is that probably the change to be made would be to keep Morks in the main AR, kind of like how, what happened on the Luminosity team with Formal quite often running the main ICR, but swap out Nagafen for Skyz to come into the squad and run that, that second Maddox, I suppose, alongside Major Maniac. That on paper is such a filthy team to me. Like, I like Nagafen as a player, but honestly, if there was someone who was going to go double neg and have a difficult time in a grand final, it was largely going to be Nagafen. Envoy was great. Envoy and Havok on the SMGs, especially latter half of the season when the sword got buffed, was really, really strong. Then we had Morks and, Morks is the main AR per se, and then Maniac and Skyz on your Maddoxes. Like, that could have been really, really nice. So that's what Skyz is implying here. Ando was one of the best Tempest players. I think Nagafen was there. Was Nagafen the Tempest player? So maybe that's what he's going for here. Did Havok tell you the main reason why he said no? He said he never watched me and didn't know I was how good I was or whatever. Interesting, given that they'd played back in the day, or as we can see right here, on the Gone Gaming team in the World War II days. So interesting that Skyz or maybe Havok wasn't keeping up so closely with that. And this was a Reddit comment that was deleted, but Frick Cameron says, was it before Anaheim or after? Sky says after. So as he says here, it looks like post Anaheim, after they lose to 100 Thieves, it was clear, to be honest, that Gen.G, in my mind, needed some sort of change, because fact of the matter is they were coming seconds here, but were they ever going to beat 100 Thieves? I never felt like when they got to that grand final there was any chance they were going to actually come out and beat 100 Thieves. And the same thing happens when United become the best team in the game, even though even with a change, did they beat United? It's kind of unlikely, right? But who knows, they could have done a better job, especially at the World Championship. They do make this change, bringing Spacely back in for Naga, and clearly that doesn't work out for them. But the Skyz change could have been the one, to be honest. I feel like Spacely in the team was great for their search and destroy, but I never felt like this squad was really going to win a championship either. They probably needed some extra firepower to compete with the likes of United with Simp in the squad, and 100 Thieves, of course, being such a filthy team that they were as well. So this could have been the change, to be honest. Post Anaheim minus Nagafen plus Skyz, that would have really changed the complexion here. The teams that we see in the Black Ops or in the Modern Warfare season now may be very similar, right? Skyz still teaming with Havok and Morks on this squad, but as you can see right now, that's the whole question. Who wants the main AR, Morks or Skyz? That's been a question, right? And we have Skyz running it sometimes. More recently, Morks has picked it up on certain maps as well, especially in some of the domination. So that's, of course, a question that could have come up on this team. But last season, there was more assault rifles in play. So that would have probably worked really, really nicely, to be honest. And I'd kind of like to see that as a change. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below for sure. This is a play of the game as well that I saw. Luminosity versus Gen.G people brought back as well. I'll play this on the big screen for you guys. Nagafen getting absolutely smoked out. I'm pretty sure this was in the Pro League. But yeah, if you guys liked the Black Ops 4 competitive season, I think there's been a lot of nostalgia towards it most recently. This is a clip you guys might remember.
Because we're going to bring up our play of the game presented by Scuff, which is Gunless. While LG did not win in round 1, Gunless's play here was outstanding.
I don't know how you let this happen.
Naga had you shooting straight circles. You could just tell the bullets are going to his left.
He knew it was Gunless. He was like, oh, I missed.
Big P.
Man, I felt so bad seeing Nagafen get gunned right there. 'Cause right before the series, I was talking to him, and I was like, man, you're not playing too hot in this series, huh, Naga? And he's like, yeah, I don't know what it is. I was like, just run your hands under hot water and say the ABCs to yourself, and once your hands warm up, you'll start shooting straighter. And he lost that gunfight, and I was like,
he didn't lose a gunfight. He got torched. He's never saying that.
Probably had Naga ABC, easy to shoot at me. You know what I'm saying?
So just to finish off here with, I thought this was kind of funny that Ninja tweeted out yesterday, there are 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and pro COD players tweeting something about who's up right now. And yeah, this is just so true. 50,000 likes on this one, so fair play to that. And then we have this from the Call of Duty League yesterday saying who's up. I thought this was pretty entertaining, to be honest. A little bit of Twitter stuff going back and forth. Yeah, love to see it. So yeah, intrigued to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below on this one. Would that have made the Gen.G team a better force last season? Of course, top 32 at Champs. Let's say they had Skyz on the team. They were a better squad. They make it out of their groups. They make it maybe top 6, top 4, something at the World Championships last year. Would Gen.G have been more heavily considering entering into the franchise league? That's a possibility that we can't necessarily discount, but who knows, maybe they'll come back next season. I expect, or at least I hope, that we will see some expansion in the franchise teams next season, maybe up to 16 teams, which maybe would make a much better environment for the tournament stuff, because 12-team tournaments are tough to do. 16-team tournaments, that's more doable in terms of how you organise the groups. Like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new as always. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.